Has Louis Vuitton just made a genius move by updating some of its most iconic bags, or are they just lazy updates? As someone who's been collecting designer bags for over a decade now, I can tell you that these new and updated Louis Vuitton designs are sparking some serious debate. Hey, if you are new here, my name is Steph. Now, I have to admit, Louis Vuitton was one of my first ever luxury loves, and it still is to this day. Louis Vuitton is the most recognized luxury brand in the world, and two of its most iconic, popular bags ever have just had facelifts. It's clear the brand are getting behind the revival of these iconic styles to try and reinvigorate new life into them. But of course, it all comes with a shiny new price tag. I mean, we wouldn't expect anything else, would we? Which bags am I talking about? So the two bags I'm explicitly referring to are the Speedy and the Neverfull tote bag. Now, the Neverfull is Louis Vuitton's most popular bag of all time. It's arguably one of the most iconic bags on the planet. Oh, and there's some juicy conversation going on around this baguation right now. But first, we're going to kick off with the Speedy situation, baguation, whatever you want to call it. So a little bit of history behind the Speedy bag. It made its first debut in 1930 under the name the Express. That is what the Speedy originally used to be called. And the bag was what we now know as the Speedy 30. So the 30 was the original size. I actually have a Speedy 30. Let me grab her. Here we go. This is my beautiful Speedy 30. This is in the giant monogram print, but it was originally this size. That was the first ever Speedy. Now, during the 1960s, Audrey Hepburn made a special request for a smaller version of the bag, which led to the creation of the Speedy 25, which has been a very iconic size of the bag, and the rest is history. Arguably, the Speedy is everyone's kind of go-to first designer bag. So, what's happened with this bag since then? We've had quite a few updates, so I'm going to run through a few of them. Last year in 2023, Louis Vuitton stopped actually selling the base model of the Speedy. So the version of the Speedy bag with no longer strap. So you now have to have the bandolier version, which is the one with the longer strap, on all the models. This is because obviously, the strap is worth an extra, I think about £300 to £500, depending on which size you get to the brand. You can't cheap out on your Speedy anymore. We now also have a lot more sizes and material options. I have to say, with the Speedy 30, I love it, but I will say when I wear this crossbody, it does become a tad bit kind of bulky when you wear it on just the side of your body. I do think the 25 is a really nice size if you want to crossbody a Speedy bag. They can be a little bit tricky to get into because of the zipper. So they run across the top, and sometimes getting into the bottom of the bag can be tricky. Some of the newer models of the Speedy bag do have zippers that run down the side. I recently tried on a black leather maltage one, which is where the zipper does run down the side, and that is a 25 leather lined, I must say. It's a very beautiful creation. Now, onto the big updates. Genius or lazy? Now, this particular facelift kicked off when Pharrell Williams became Louis Vuitton's creative director back in 2023, and we saw the relaunched Speedy in, for the first time ever, new brightly coloured leather options. These were called the Speedy P9s. They are still available right now, and Pharrell was actually seen wearing one of the Speedy bags made from crocodile, which is known as the Millionaire's Speedy. This felt new, to me anyway, because it was almost the reluxification of a basic Louis Vuitton bag. We went from an iconic first ever designer bag to one that $1 million for the croc one. The fact that it's made from exotic leather and the padlock was like laced with diamonds, this definitely elevated the Speedy. So the P9s, I like them, the ones in the soft leather. They come in a range of really beautiful fun colours, but they are at a premium price point. Now, for a Speedy 25, you will be looking around £6,850 in the UK, around $9,300 in the US. So this was the start of the facelift, but we have now seen a new range of the Speedy bags thanks to the P9 update, and this is the Speedy Soft range. Now, the soft Speedy bags are also being rolled out into other cheaper leather and canvas options. So we have some price points now that aren't as astronomical as the P9s. Let's take a look. The Speedy Soft 30 in leather retails at £2,940 in the UK, around $3,900 in the US. We then have the Speedy Soft 30 dark bag. So this is interesting because this is a canvas version of the Speedy, but the soft Speedy. It retails at £2,560 currently in the UK, around $3,250. We do also have a combination of canvas and ostrich. Ostrich is seen as an exotic leather. This canvas and ostrich trim combination retails slightly higher at £3,750 in the UK, $4,750. I really like this, but what I will say is I don't know if the ostrich like long leather strap looks a bit weird. The interesting thing here is we don't often see exotic skins such as ostrich teamed with canvas. So it's really fascinating to see how Louis Vuitton are playing with the exotic kind of trims. So are these new Speedy Softs worth the price tag? Let's take a look and compare. So the basic Speedy model with straps, size 30, currently retails at £1,470 in the UK, about $1,890 in the US. For the Speedy Soft in canvas, because this is the closest comparison we can do, they are charging just over £1,000 and over $1,300 in the US more for this facelifted version of the bag. Okay, so let's take a look. At the soft Speedy, you get this extra tassel thing. You get like this chain strap detail on it. I don't know about you, but the strap doesn't look as good as the one on the original because I don't think you can adjust it, whereas on the cheaper base model, you can. Oh, and on the new one, the Speedy is leather lined. That is nice. That's gonna make the bag feel more premium as you use it. I do like a leather lining. I also like that you can get the Speedy in the black leather trim, which is something we haven't seen for the Speedy bag, only like the key pulls. Are you a lover of the new Speedy Soft? Do you think it is worth the price point? I need your input. I'm definitely getting cool girl vibes. I like the facelift. Let's move on to the juicy realms that is the icon. That is the Neverfull bag. I have my beautiful girl here. This is my limited edition Stephen Sprouse in the MM size, and it's my favorite print of all time. It's all kicking off on social media. Even some of the bag WhatsApp groups that I'm in have been pinging away. Everyone's got an opinion on the new and updated Neverfull because there are a few new versions. So I'm going to share some comments that I found online that are quite interesting in a second, but let's first take a look at the updates. What are we working with? What has been changed? So we didn't go oversized with this one. Instead, the surgery consisted of being turned inside out. The original Speedy apparently was designed so that you could wear them inside out if you really wanted to. I feel like that's a little bit of a stretch because, and I'll tell you why, the seams at the bottom of the bag, like the corners, if you reverse it, I don't know, like they are finished quite nicely. But again, you can see the stitching on the inside of the bag here. So again, it's neat, but it doesn't feel like this bag was fully designed to be reversible, let's be honest. And I have never seen anyone wearing their Neverfull reversed before, in all honesty. Never seen that. The original Louis Vuitton, the basic MM size, retails in the UK at £1,410 and around $2,030 in the US. Then we have the new reversible canvas one. So this one's the most similar to the original. It retails at £1,690 in the UK, around $2,300 in the US. So what is the difference, we are asking, aside from the price point? So with this one, you also get a longer strap with it. And I was going to say, for this extra strap, paying another £280, okay, it's an expensive strap, but I think it's worth it because I don't know about you, but I love a bag that's more versatile. I like the idea of throwing it on my shoulder, but I think Louis Vuitton have done us dirty on this bag because it looks like when you buy the inside out version, you don't get the little pouch that you get with the Neverfull, like the basic version with the cheaper one. So technically, not only are they charging £280 more for a longer strap, but then they've taken away the pouch. Like, why? But the ones we're seeing being pushed and talked about the most are actually the leather and canvas inside out options, which I do quite like. So these come in some really beautiful colours actually. The MM retails at £2,280 in the UK, about $3,000 in the US, and you do get an extra little pouch with an updated design. You don't get the longer strap, but there's also a BB size, which is smaller than the MM, and this one retails at £2,010, around $2,720 in the US, which you do get a little mini pouch for, which you can use as a separate bag, and you do get the longer strap as well, so you could attach the longer strap to the little pouch. So this does definitely feel like a 2-in-1. It comes in a black and a bright pink leather and then the monogram canvas. So what are the juicy conversations that are happening? And I'm going to share my final thoughts. Do we really think these bags are worth it? One of the juiciest takes that I've seen on this whole Neverfull fiasco update is from Olivia Atwood. Olivia claims she's always been a fan of the brand and specifically the Neverfull, despite comments from her friends saying that this bag is just not it anymore. A true fan of the Neverfull. I thought I would share with you some other interesting comments that I have seen. Someone's put, I've noticed that over the last couple of years that Louis Vuitton keep rehashing and reviving older designs, just changing them ever so slightly. This makes me think that they don't feel like spending any money for someone to design anything new. I'm no longer interested in buying anything from them when there are so many other great brands out there for way less. And you know, this is kind of true. I recently did do a video on this and I was talking about Pelen quite specifically, a much more affordable luxury brand, if you will. This is the mini Sime tote bag, which I recently ordered and did a review on. I've also got the regular size, and I have kind of been saying, you know, the design of the Sime feels more unique than the Neverfull, and this is less than a third of the price of the Neverfull tote bag from Louis Vuitton. So if you are looking for something a little bit more unique, maybe more low-key, then I definitely would recommend looking at more affordable luxury brands. Someone else commented, I was so surprised to see that Louis Vuitton Inside Out bag, as Coach has had a reversible tote bag around for quite a few years now, so it's not a new idea. I own a Coach reversible tote and absolutely love it. Someone else has put that, to me, Louis Vuitton is overpriced fast fashion at this point. The quality is down and the prices are up, and the creativity is non-existent. My thoughts on the facelifted soft Speedies and the Inside Out Neverfulls. Some of you may know this already, but it's the Neverfull bag that actually had me in a chokehold before I could even afford any type of designer bag. I remember being in London and in the glittering windows of Selfridges, I always remember seeing the Louis Vuitton Neverfull tote bag, and that lit a spark inside of me. I think they were about £600 at the time, so a lot cheaper than they are now, but I could not afford one. But I was captivated. So this bag is definitely very nostalgic, and I think that's the same thing for a lot of people. Seeing them revived, I'm actually really glad to kind of see, in a way. It's making these bags a little bit more iconic, more relevant, and dare I say it, a little bit cooler to wear right now. But I will say I do like the updated bags. Now for the Neverfull, I think due to the combination of leather and canvas, they're going to be more hard wearing than the canvas and fabric options. Obviously they are now the most like premium style of the Neverfull bag, but I think if you are looking for an investment, I personally would go down the leather and canvas option. I also like the fact that you can flip it to the leather side and it feels a lot more quiet luxury, or you can flip it onto the canvas side and you've got the monogram logo. Depends like what kind of mood you're in. It caters to different events, different tastes, and I like that. Now, onto the Speedy, the soft Speedy, would I buy one? I like that we are going down the leather-lined route for the more premium price point. Don't know if it's justified, but there we go. I feel like the soft Speedy is edgier than the original Speedy for sure, and it feels a lot edgier than the Neverfull. So in summary, are these updates lazy or genius? Would I buy one? I think these updates are a stroke of genius. There we go. That's what I think. These bags are nostalgic. These are proven styles of bags, and Louis Vuitton are breathing new life into them. It does kind of come across a little bit lazy, but it's making anyone who has one of these bags, like myself, feel like they're wanting to go to the back of their wardrobe, you know, and dig out their Neverfulls and their Speedies and use them and show them off to the world again. Would I buy them? Neverfull, no, just because I already have mine and I don't feel like I need another one. Although when it comes to the Speedy, I could be tempted. Let me know in the comments, Are these updates from Louis Vuitton lazy or genius? Please do let me know. But make sure you don't go anywhere, because coming up next, I should not have purchased this Louis Vuitton bag. Come and unbox it with me and I'm going to share why I shouldn't have purchased it. Enjoy.